Hello everyone, hope everyone's well and hope everyone's blessed. So, I've just been to a school speaking to some troubled youths, trying to raise awareness around crime, addiction, life choices and mental health. I've just enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed myself speaking to these kids. When I was looking at these kids, I remembered what it was like for me, being a 14, 15, 16-year-old boy, struggling with life, not knowing my place in life, my place in this world, trying to be the baddest, the funniest, the bravest, the stupidest. That's what my childhood was all about. When I'm looking at these lads, I got this fear of them making the same choices that I made, and ended up in places like jail and, getting sectioned in institutions because of addiction and crime and mental health so I just enjoyed myself. I just sat and just told my story. I spoke about myself, about the choices that I made and, the choices I wish I never made and, how I would have done things differently if I could, and chose a different path if possible, but yeah, I was dealt the cards I was dealt with, and I made the choices that I made that have brought me to a position of where I'm at now. So I'm grateful for the things that I've gone through and things that I did. I'm grateful to be able to be invited into schools, to tell my story and talk to these kids and try and educate them around life choices and crime and what comes with crime, and I enjoyed myself. I felt like I was getting my point across well, with these kids sat listening. It was a heartwarming experience, it really was. Big shout out to Paul Truscott. Paul Truscott, very good friend of mine. Very, very good friend of mine. If you don't know who Paul Truscott is, go watch his fights on YouTube. Former Commonwealth title holder, former professional fighter, professional boxer. He's working with these kids now, and he's invited me in to talk to these boys, to try and raise awareness around crime and life choices and drugs and stuff like that. And where it took me. If anyone doesn't know, a life of crime and drug addiction and stuff like that took me to hell. Jails, institutions and death. I went to jail. I'd been sectioned. I believe now that I got out in the perfect time, because I did believe if I didn't get out when I did, I probably would have died. I probably would have ended up dead. Either drug overdose or being killed or shot or stabbed or something along them lines. So I'm very grateful to be able to sit there and tell my story and talk to these kids and try and educate them around life choices and crime and drugs and stuff like that. So yeah, what a humbling experience that was. Very humbling experience. I really enjoyed it. Big shout out to Paul for inviting me down. Big shout out to the kids at that school who took the time to listen. I felt like I was hitting home. I felt like I could see these kids were engaging, actually listening to me. I'm going to finish on this. If you're a young kid out there who's 15, 16-year-old, smoking weed, looking to be the biggest and baddest, trying to be the hardest, stop. Because it's a fucking fantasy world. It's not real. The real world is earning a crust legitimately, legally, getting an education, providing for your family, living a legit, real, clean life. That's the choices. They're the choices and they're the life. That's the life you should be going down. That's the path you should be going down. Just trying to become the better version of yourself instead of trying to create this alter ego, ego-fueled divvy who thinks he's the baddest and hardest on them streets. Because let me tell you something, if you choose that life, there's nothing good waiting for you. There's nothing good in a life of crime. There's nothing good in a life of drugs. Every criminal I know, drug dealer or criminal that I know has been involved in that world has done a lot of jail. They're either in jail now or they've done jail. So just choose your path wisely, guys. Drugs are for mugs. Don't take drugs. Get an education, get a job. Look up to someone who's honest and kind and genuine and working and providing for his family. They're the type of guys you need to be looking up to, not these fucking drug dealers, gangsters, you know, bad men, hard men. Nah, man, it's bullshit. God bless, guys.